Previously on Eli Stone.
Look, Eli, sometimes I can see things that haven't happened yet.
I didn't know what your dad meant, how it could help you.
He saw the future, just like he said he could. You've been acting strange ever since the kid.
Shh, I have a boyfriend.
I never believed Stone could let you go.
Last night was a drunken, stupid mistake.
We're a neurology chief. He found a brain aneurysm.
I know how hard this is.
You can't even begin to know!
Eli, that surgery could kill you.
I'm gonna find a surgeon, and I'm gonna get this thing out of my head.
Morning, sunshine.
I'm sorry.
What, did you forget my name already?
No, I just... It's a nice place.
Thanks. It's, yours. You banged the headboard pretty hard that one time. Maybe you have a concussion. Let me take a look.
You just remind me what exactly I had to drink last night and why I didn't cut myself off before incurring brain damage.
You didn't have anything to drink last night. You have rounds in an hour.
Rounds.
Oh, I get it.
Oh, that makes one of us.
You seem so innocent at work, but you are all kinds of naughty underneath your white coat, aren't you? Well, I imagine the only way for bad Nurse Carrie to restore the sexy amnesiac's lost memories with a good old-fashioned...
Carrie, your name is Carrie.
You're cute when you're weird. I'm gonna have a quick shower. Why don't you take an aspirin, and then I'm gonna let you buy me breakfast. Dr. Stone.
I was you. I looked in the mirror and I saw your face.
Well, maybe you should put a little sign up. Objects in the mirror are handsomer than they appear.
And I realized I was back in your apartment on Divisadero.
Oh, God. I love that place. I did so much damage in that place.
Well, this morning I woke up with one of the girls that you damaged, Carrie.
Is this some kind of weirdo Nate sleeping with the girl you lost your virginity to revenge fantasy?
It wasn't fantasy.
No, Eli. And it wasn't a vision or a prophecy either. It was a sensory hallucination brought on by your aneurysm.
But sometimes when I see people in these sensory hallucinations, they usually have some sort of legal problem.
I'm not being sued, Eli.
Good. And Carrie?
Last I heard, she moved to Seattle. I haven't seen her, spoken to her in 10 years. When did you even meet her?
I didn't.
Look, I got a meeting with my boss, all right? I'll call you later. Oh, but if you imagine Carrie again, tell her to call me.
Shuffling these cards can be a mess in the dealer's hands. Whenever I call you, you're not.
What is this?
It's a Dieffenbachia, the king of plants. It's a welcome back from your personal week gift. How was it?
Personal.
Patty, I told you why I did what I did.
Right, because God told you to. Did he look like Morgan Freeman or George Burns?
I made a mistake.
A mistake that cost my friends and neighbors their homes.
I'm getting it out. You know what? I met with a surgeon last week, and a good one. And
Is it safe?
just like getting your appendix out, if your appendix was buried deep in a vital part of your brain. I'll be right back.
Prodigal associate returns. How was Ohio?
Very pleasant. Thank you for asking.
I was thinking we should discuss stuff.
The Supreme Court granted cert in Lanning versus Codespoto. They said it'll be one of next term's most closely watched cases.
Yeah, I already ordered the pay-per-view. Are you feeling okay?
Are you suggesting I've returned from my trip somehow different?
Only if you had a layover in Stepford on your way back.
Things are different, Eli.
Yeah, because you kissed me, and then I kissed you, and then you responded by disappearing halfway across the country for a week.
That's not why things are different.
You're a very confusing woman.
Apparently.
Moving on, I see that we've been retained in connection with the Asbury divorce case.
On the wife's side, I think we can make the law journals with this one.
Don't be modest. This one's making the evening news. I hope you're ready for your close-up.
I'm ready, but I could use a second chair.
I'm free.
I don't think I need someone with your level of experience.
I'm sure I'll learn something new.
I appreciate the offer, but I'd like Maggie.
You would?
Ms. Decker it is then. And as you appear to have the time, Mr. Dowd, you can join me on the Fenrich document production. All 2,000 pages worth.
Huh.
What was that? At the staff meeting, you boxing me out.
Boxing you out?
It's a basketball term. It means keeping me out of the paint.
I know what it means. I played varsity forward at Stanford.
Sweet. You still have your short shorts?
This is the third case of mine you've tried worming your way onto in a week.
I know. And I thought since we both obviously get off on working together...
All right, two choices. Stop bringing that up or get used to eating through a straw.
Oh, come on. Admit it. You had a good time. Several good times, if I recall. And if you want me to back off, you're going to have to do a lot better than it was a mistake.
Okay. How about we work together?
That didn't seem to stop you in stone.
I wasn't working here when it started.
Otherwise, my father would never have approved.
So your father's the only thing standing between us and short shorts.
Unfortunately.
Got it. Thanks for giving it to me straight. Have a nice rest of your day.
What's with the look? Last time you had a look like that, you told me I had a brain aneurysm. I'm a little concerned.
You know that meeting I was on my way to this morning? The one with my boss, Trevor Snyder? Turns out it was about a former patient of mine, Karen Masters. She died.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Me too. Yeah, she was a nice lady.
You taking it hard?
I did when she died 3 months ago. You see, I'm the UNOS coordinator at St. Vincent's.
That's organ transplants, right?
Right, and Karen was first on the transplant list when a donor heart became available.
And what went wrong?
Nothing. Nothing. Another woman who was lower on the list took a turn for the worse. I moved her up into first position over Karen. She got the heart. Karen didn't. She lived.
And Karen didn't. It must be tough having to make those decisions.
It is. And that was before I started getting sued for making them. Karen's husband, her widower, he's suing me.
You mean I was right?
Now would not be a good time for that conversation. I'm in real trouble here, Eli. Last week, you asked me to take your life into my hands. You said that you had faith in me. Well, when it comes to lawyering, and probably only lawyering, I have faith in you. So, what do you say?
Looks like you hired yourself a lawyer.
I just want to thank you again for asking me to join you on this case. I've mostly worked under men at the firm, like Eli, but I've always felt I would really benefit from the experience of working alongside an older woman. Well, not older as in old. I meant older, like, seasoned.
I'm beginning to understand why you eat lunch at your desk alone.
Just the person I wanted to talk to.
Did you need something work-related?
Come on, Maggie, I know what's different about you.
You do?
Yeah. Did you get a haircut?
You know what, Eli? For a guy who claims to have extrasensory perception...
Maggie, they're waiting for us.
Patty, do you notice something strange about Maggie?
I don't notice anything other than strange about that girl.
No, I mean, like something different.
Of course there is.
And that would be what exactly?
Can they fix your brain tomorrow by any chance?
This doesn't add up. Could you pass me the Berkman quarterly profit breakdown? Thank you.
You know, these Unidac corporate acquisitions remind me of a hypothetical I once argued for moot court back in law school.
I'm all ears.
There's this big, powerful company. In the moot court fact pattern, it was called Parent Co. Parent Co. has a particularly attractive subsidiary. For the purposes of this hypothetical, let's call it Daughter Inc. Daughter Inc. receives feelers from a corporate suitor who couldn't value her assets more highly. Hypothetically, how would Parent Co. look upon this suitor pursuing a merger with Daughter Inc.?
Let there be no misunderstanding, Mr. Dad. Parent Co. would do everything within its considerable power to protect Daughter Inc. so soon after her recent failed merger. In short, Parent Co. would not hesitate to crush any suitor who sought to merge with Daughter Inc. at this juncture. Hypothetically.
It's fun stuff. Hypotheticals.
According to language of the prenup, she cheated first, so she gets nothing.
Not one penny.
Oh, change the channel already, Sean. Elliot, I'm gonna have to ask you to control your client.
He has every right to his emotion. His wife of 5 years arranged a hotel room assignation with a man that she met online.
Who happened to be her own husband.
Wait. Her client, tried to cheat on her husband with her husband?
Your client didn't know the man she was seducing online was Mr. Asbury. She thought she was arranging a meeting with Clooney Double 32.
Who is your client and her husband.
And who's 36 and looks nothing like George Clooney. You described your build as athletic.
All right, point is, Elliot, it's no harm, no foul.
There isn't any no harm, no foul clause in the prenup. There is, however, a fidelity clause, which clearly states that whichever spouse is unfaithful first forfeits any and all claims to the other's assets. The first to stray is the one to pay.
Even if the straying's with her own husband?
Welcome to the 21st century, Taylor.
Then welcome to litigation, Elliot. I'll have my office call you to schedule the deposition.
Dr. Stone was doing his job. Without an allegation of negligence or malfeasance, you can't sue him for exercising his medical discretion.
Oh, I can sue him. I know because I did.
I meant to say you can't sue and win.
You promised us. You looked me in the eye and you told me Karen was next.
Howard, I didn't say that.
Told me to have hope. And the next day you gave that hope to someone else.
Doctors have discretion in these cases, Mr. Masters. The law doesn't second-guess their decisions.
It does when there's misconduct.
A transplant patient's status can change abruptly. Someone comes along whose need is more urgent.
Karen died. 3 days after the heart she was supposed to get went to someone else. How much more urgent did she need to be?
Mr. Masters, Dr. Stone.
He's your brother, right?
Yes?
If having your brother represent you was meant to earn you some sympathy, forget it. All my sympathy died with Karen.
You can't honestly
Why?
think that...
Why did you do it? What made that woman more deserving than my Karen?
My client won't be speaking during this meeting. What is it you're looking for?
A reckoning, in the biblical sense of the term. An eye for an eye, or in this case, a heart for a heart. And by your heart, I mean your brother's money and his reputation. We'll be seeing you gentlemen in court.
I've been practicing for 10 years and I haven't been sued once. And I thought at least when I did get sued, it would be because I screwed up.
Nate, I have to ask. Is there anything about this case you haven't told me?
No.
Ostro seems awfully confident for a guy who doesn't have the law on his side.
I didn't do anything wrong, Eli.
Doctors get sued all the time. Doesn't matter if they made a mistake or not.
Nate? Where'd you go?
Huh?
Are you sure you're all right? You seem really out of it.
I'm fine. I'm just hungry.
God, I still can't believe it. She was so beautiful.
It's 10 years ago.
What's 10 years ago?
Now, it's 10 years ago.
That's it. When we get to work, you are going right into an MRI. You gonna get that?
Oh, that's me. Hello?
Nate?
Mom? Yeah, it's Nate. What's up?
There's been an accident, honey. It's your dad. His car. It's bad. You need to get over here right away. I'm at Golden Gate Heights. Hurry, honey. Be careful.
What is it?
Today's the day my father died.
Like a broken record played. I'll say it again just in case.
Hey. How's
Oh, it's still in there. It's kind of stubborn.
like its owner?
I shouldn't have yelled at you the other week. All the crazy stuff I've been doing because I may be America's next top prophet. You didn't make me do any of it. Found a doctor. Getting it taken out.
Mazel tov. So what's up?
Oh, George Michael asked me to represent him last week. Said he had a dream about me.
Probably just a coincidence.
Probably.
Anything else? Any actual visions since the earthquake?
Well, I may be kind of sort of having Nate's flashbacks.
What was that again?
I'm having Nate's flashbacks of the day our father died. At the same time, I'm representing him.
Again, what an odd coincidence.
Okay, let's say it isn't. What would it mean?
What do you remember from the day you passed away?
Nothing. I wasn't there. It was 2 days before the bar exam. Bad timing, my dad's specialty. And Nate and my mom told me not to come back. He was gone by the time I finally made it home.
Someone wants you to know what happened that day, Eli. Why don't you try talking to your brother about it?
Oh, ladies.
Oh, Matt, we're late for a depo.
Well, I'll only need a second. The thing we discussed earlier, the impediment, I've opened negotiations.
You talked to my father about it?
I just thought I'd keep you updated. See you later.
Is everything okay? I just mean if you want to talk or something.
Matt and I slept together last week.
Oh. Wow.
Anyway, now he wants to date. My whole fake reason for not being able to might be a bust.
Did you ask me to work on this case with you so you wouldn't have to work on it with Matt?
If I answer no, would that prevent you from ever uttering a word of this to Eli?
I was just curious.
Well, the ISP records indicate that you spend 20 hours a week online. Must have been pretty curious.
Whether I was or wasn't, I still met Sean.
No, you met Clooney double 32.
They're one and the same, Elliot.
Do we have to go through this again, Taylor?
You know, actually, I want to answer his question. You're right. I didn't know I was really talking to Sean. I mean, how could I have? I haven't seen that side of him in years. But this man, he would ask me about my life, my dreams. He even told me that I should try talking to my husband again. There was an honesty. There was warmth.
But this warmth wasn't enough for you, was it? You proposed meeting in real life.
Yes, it was my idea.
Ms. Asbury, what were your intentions upon meeting offline?
I don't know.
You were planning on engaging in adultery.
All I know is that I wanted to feel as wanted as Sean used to make me.
It's called a death rattle. Fluid builds up in the voice box. And it made Karen make this horrible rasp. And then...
Your wife was gone. Mr. Masters, why do you blame Dr. Stone for your wife's death?
He said, given Karen's deteriorating condition, that she would get the next heart for sure.
But she didn't.
No. He gave Karen's heart to someone else.
Do you have any idea why?
I think Dr. Stone decided that my wife didn't deserve to live once he discovered that she had a drinking problem.
Are you sure Dr. Stone knew that?
On her deathbed, Karen said that she had confessed her alcoholism to him. She said it was probably the reason he gave her heart to someone else.
Objection. I've seen it a zillion times on Law & Order. They hid this grenade until the trial.
Well, at least we're admitting it's a grenade. Why didn't you tell me about this?
It was privileged information, Eli.
Not anymore, it's not. Is this... Did you give that woman's heart to someone else because of Dad?
Don't go bringing Dad into this.
Well, they're going to. Trust me. That's their next move. They're going to say you're biased.
This was a medical decision. It had nothing to do with Dad.
Nate, there's not a lot we do in life that doesn't have to do with Dad. Remember how I said I saw myself in your apartment with that girl, Carrie? It was the day Dad died. I don't know what it means.
You have got
I wasn't there when Dad died. You were. Something happened, Nate.
You want to know what you don't know, little brother? You don't know that these visions of yours are crap. You also don't seem to know that my career, my life is on the line. Otherwise, you wouldn't be dumping me with this screwed up paranoia about how Dad died. And right now, what I don't know is why the hell I trusted you in the first place.
Understand, we are not having this conversation. I will deny ever having said what I'm about to say to you. I have reason to believe that my daughter is involved with someone else, someone in this office, someone we'd both prefer she not become involved with. Now, it would be entirely inappropriate for me to do anything about this. However, if a certain coworker here...
Matt Dowd.
How did you know?
I saw them singing I Got You, Babe, at the karaoke bar in my head. It's a long story. Sir, if you'll excuse me, I have to go yell at somebody and then go kill someone else. Matt Dowd!
What are you talking about?
I got you, babe. Well, I guess he really did get you, babe.
I'm not entirely sure that's any of your business, Eli.
You're my former fiancé.
Yes, former, as in no longer.
We only broke up 3 weeks ago.
It was 2 months ago, actually.
So the breakup confirmation happened 3 weeks ago. Then you go and sleep with someone that we work with?
Are you pissed that I slept with someone that works here or that I slept with anyone? Maggie, just out of curiosity, did you text Eli the second I turned around, or did you give him the good news in person?
What? No, I didn't tell him. I swear, Taylor, I would never.
You knew about her and Dowd?
No. Fine, yes, but I didn't tell you.
Are you really going with a vision told me?
Told him what? I take it there's a bag somewhere missing a cat.
You got some nerve hitting my car.
Come on, she hit on me.
I'm all cute and clueless, routine.
Oh, don't go yelling at her, Taylor. She didn't tell me.
Then who did?
Look, I just came to get a bagel and tell you I'm going to take another stab at our problem today.
Matt, please stop talking to my father, okay? I'm not going to go out with you. I just told you that so you'd stop asking me.
It's cool. I get it. Nicely done.
Eli, next time, just stay out of my business.
Well, it gets increasingly difficult when you sleep with people we work with.
You mean without taking them to Hawaii first?
Oh,
we never did anything.
Taylor, nothing happened.
Are you really about to tell me that absolutely nothing is going on between you and Maggie?
Nothing is going on between me and... Is that an engagement ring?
Heck of a time to notice.
Interesting that she didn't tell you she was engaged. I'm sure there's nothing to that.
Why didn't you tell me?
I've been wearing the ring since I got back.
Without saying a word about it. You're engaged to a guy I never even met before.
You know, as it happens, I have a whole entire life outside of this office and outside of you.
Well, I seem to recall you dragging my lips into your outside life.
It was a mistake. A mistake we both made. But it doesn't mean anything. It just means that we had a moment. And the moment's over.
Of course I wanted her to get the heart. I want every patient on the waiting list to get a heart or a kidney or a pair of corns, whatever it is they need. That's why I became the UNOS coordinator at St. Vincent's. That's why I became a doctor. To save lives.
Dr. Stone, did you promise Karen Masters she would receive a heart?
No, I can't make those kinds of promises.
And why did you give the heart to someone else?
I didn't give it to anyone. It wasn't mine to give. What I did do was reprioritize another patient over Karen because she got sicker.
And just so we're all clear, what role did the fact that Karen Masters was an alcoholic play in your decision?
None whatsoever.
But it's hard to prove a negative.
But not in this case. In fact, if I wanted to make sure that Karen wouldn't get the heart, or any heart, I would have disclosed her drinking problem on her UNOS form.
Why didn't you?
Alcoholism is a condition with a lot of shame attached to it. Believe me, I know. And I wanted to protect her privacy.
But you did know that she was an alcoholic at the time of her death.
I did.
So why did you conceal it, Doctor? Isn't it mandatory to disclose that kind of information on a UNOS form?
I didn't want Karen to get kicked off the list completely.
Dr. Stone, true or false? Your father was an alcoholic.
Yes, my father had a drinking problem, but if anything, that makes me more sympathetic towards alcoholics.
Really? So if I were to call your boss to the stand, would he agree? What about your brother? I have affidavits from 10 past and present colleagues, professors, and friends, all stating how deeply you resented your father for his drinking. Some even went so far as to use the word despise.
My father had nothing to do with Karen not getting a heart.
Of course. And we can all see how objective you are on the subject. Nothing further.
Don't say it. Don't even start to say I told you so, and I am violating my Hippocratic oath on your jaw.
Why didn't you disclose the alcoholism on her UNOS?
I'm not having this discussion with you, Eli.
You're the one who said you're on trial for your career. I can't help you if you're not telling me everything.
Eli? I told you and everyone else in that courtroom what you needed to know. I protected Karen Masters, and then someone else got sicker and had to be bumped up the list. All of this is just my bad luck, which I seem to have caught from you. I'm taking the stairs.
Oh, I am so not in the mood right now.
Dr. Phillips, 2421. Dr. Phillips, 2421.
Nate? Oh, Nate. I'm so glad you're here. Nate, this is Dr. Francis.
Dr. Stone, I've just been updating your mother on where we're at and what our options are.
Okay.
Your father's ejection fraction is 30%. His chest x-ray shows volume overload. We gave him TPA and Lasix to take off some of the fluids, but he's been left with very little functioning myocardium.
Sorry, I don't follow. I mean, I follow because I'm Dr. Stone. My mother probably doesn't follow.
Well, it's no surprise his heart gave out on him.
I thought he was in a car accident.
Following an acute MI.
He had a heart attack?
His only chance at any real long-term survival is with a transplant.
I'm gonna call Eli. I'm gonna tell him. I have no idea what I'm going to tell him.
It's okay. I wanted to talk to you alone anyway. It seems like God is on your father's side.
What do you mean?
There's a teenager upstairs, neurovegetative state after a GSW to the head. His family's taking him off life support. He's an organ donor.
You mean you could give my dad this kid's heart?
It's as good a match as you can hope for. Of course, we don't know how your father will react to the immunosuppressant necessary to stave off rejection. Dr. Stone, I know that you're aware that the timing here is critical. Your dad would be at the top of the list given the circumstances. Dr. Stone. What do you want to do?
We live in wonder.
You know, you can't just keep coming over here at all hours, barging in like a lunatic and saying...
I know about Dad's heart.
Stuff like that. Look, Eli, whatever you think happened...
I think that Dad wasn't drunk the night of his car accident. I think he had a heart attack, and I think he could have had a transplant.
Yeah. He could have. Glad you know now.
Killing our father hasn't been the easiest thing to live with.
You didn't kill him, Nate.
I stopped him from getting what he needed to live. Trust me, I'm a trained medical professional, and I killed him.
It would have been wasted on him.
Yeah. Tell yourself that in the middle of the night when you can't sleep. You tell yourself all the reasons why it was the right decision, like, he needed a healthy liver for the transplant to take. Dad was an alcoholic.
Dad was never going to stop drinking.
Yeah, I told myself that, too. So you talked to Mom or something?
No. I haven't spoken to her in over a week. Not counting creepy flashback visions.
So you're really saying that
it was the aneurysm? It's how I found out.
It's happened to you a lot?
Usually during a trial. And with this trial, I have to ask.
Did I make the same choice for Karen Masters that I made for Dad? She'd been in the hospital about 4 days before she started experiencing tremors and other signs of alcohol withdrawal.
And that's when you bumped the other woman up.
Karen chose, Eli. She made her own choice. She made me promise never to tell her husband, said he would never understand, and I guess she was right.
Any idea how dangerous it was to keep this from me? We could lose the whole case.
Either way, someone was gonna die and someone was gonna live. I guess I was just hoping that a jury wouldn't punish me because I made the best choice I could.
You know something? If this goes the wrong way, you may have a future as a lawyer.
Dad, I need to talk to you about a certain lawyer.
I employ a small army of them. Which one did you have in mind?
Matt Dowd. I know he approached you.
The hypothetical. Truthfully, I expected him to be less of a wuss. Please tell me nothing happened between the two of you.
Oh my God. You told Eli about me and Matt.
That's a mental picture. I'd really rather not. Okay. I told Eli, and I told him I'd kill him if he said anything. I just thought that deep down you still wanted Eli to fight for you.
Oh, Dad, stay out of it. God, I'm late for a depot.
It was just fantasy.
Please describe what happened the day you showed up at the Fairmont Hotel.
I thought I was going to meet my soulmate. Instead, I found my wife.
What do you mean?
I mean, I thought I was going to meet book lover 13. Now, say what you want, but that woman I met online was not my wife. I mean, this person was... She was vivid. She was funny. She had insights. It got to where I was jonesing for whatever she typed next.
You know what? This is all so ridiculous.
We've been over this, Taylor. The fact that the flirtation was virtual doesn't...
No, I'm talking about us being here.
I'm not sure I follow.
I know I don't.
It is a big world, and these two people found each other in it, not once, but twice. Do you know how incredibly hard that is? Take it from me, you want to listen to what the universe is telling you here.
What are you doing?
I'm recusing myself from this case, and so is she.
I am?
And so are you. For 72 hours.
You're kidding.
Look, if after the next 3 days you two still hate each other, fine. We'll proceed with the divorce and carve up your marriage, but I strongly encourage you to talk to each other. No chat rooms, no screen names, just use this time to talk to each other. There's a reason you two keep falling in love.
Could you please state your full name for the record?
Dina Michelle Alston.
Your Honor, I renew my objection to this witness.
And I renew my overruling of your objection. Mr. Stone, proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. I don't actually have any questions. I just wanted the jury to meet the woman who did receive the heart. These are not decisions that anyone should have to make. Yet doctors are asked to make them every day. They're asked to play God. Karen Masters' death was a tragedy. No one here believes otherwise. But for all the talk of a life lost, no one should forget that a life was also saved. And despite what Nathan Stone has been alleged to have taken from Mr. Masters, it should be remembered what he gave back to Dina Alston. Could any of us look Dr. Stone in the eye? Could you look Dina in the eye and tell him that a mistake was made?
In the matter of Howard Masters versus Nathan Stone, on the counts of alienation of affection, breach of obligation, and intentional infliction of emotional distress, we, the jury, find in favor of the defendant.
That might be a good time to mention I stole your Boba Fett figure when I was 11.
Howard. I'm so sorry.
All I want is for you to feel like I feel. I hope you do one day.
That hurt. Finding out you were just throwing your dad, who I think took out a contract on my life, by the way, up as a roadblock.
I'm sorry. I didn't think you'd be crazy enough to say anything to my father. It's just, you know, that road has to go both ways.
See, that's the thing. I think it does.
Matt.
I mean, sure, first I thought, she's not into the doubt, but then I realized if some part of you wasn't into me, why would you have been so nervous about us working together to begin with? Huh?
I told you I didn't want to hurt your feelings.
Exactly. You never worried all that much about my feelings before we slept together.
It was just sex.
No. I've had just sex. Generally speaking, it's mostly all I've had. But what we had was something else.
It wasn't.
I get you've got some stuff to work through. I just thought I'd stop by and say, work through it.
Sometimes things surprise you. Yeah, I read this article about these scientists at Duke. They discovered what your appendix does.
That's not really all that interesting.
They say it cultivates good bacteria for digestion. It's not just a useless leftover. But yesterday, I would have told you with absolute medical certainty that your appendix meant nothing. Turns out science isn't always right.
It's a reassuring sentiment on the eve of my impending brain surgery.
Eli, I'm not sure you should have the operation. Look, something is happening with you. I don't know what. I wouldn't even begin to guess why. But what you knew about me and Dad, I can tell you with absolute medical certainty that it's impossible. Unless it's beyond science.
And what do you think is happening?
I don't know. But it's pretty amazing. Almost makes me wish it was happening to me.
That's funny. All these years, I was always the one jealous of you. Jealous of you and Dad.
Well, you were always his favorite, Eli.
You got to say goodbye.
Another round?
Sure.
Dad, we're gonna be okay. Nate, Mom, me, we all turn out okay. We are okay. Dad, hey, it's Nate. I'm here. Sorry. No. You don't have to be sorry. You didn't do anything. I'm sorry, Eli. No, I'm sorry, because I know that you tried to tell me things about what was happening with you. And I know it seemed like I wasn't listening. But I heard you, Dad. I heard you. Dad.